Hi, grade 11s. Let's run through the solutions to exercise 7 and 8. So you've got cos 180 plus x, that's in quadrant 3. And we've got tan 180 minus x, which is in quadrant 2. So cos 180 plus x, quadrant 3, cos is negative there. Tan 180 minus x, quadrant 2, tan is negative in quadrant 2. Then we've got sine 180 plus x, that's in quadrant 3. Sine is negative there, so that's minus sine x. Then we've got sine 180 minus x, that is in quadrant 2. Sine is positive there, and then multiply by that sine x. So what do we have? I would first sort out the signs. So we've got, on the top there, we've got a negative times a negative times a negative is a negative, divide by positive. So we're going to get a negative answer. Okay. So let's go for it. And then so we've got a negative cos x times by tan x. And remember tan x we write as sin x over cos x. And then times by sin x divided by sin x times by sin x. Okay, next up, what are we going to do? We're going to divide. Sin x divided by sin x is 1. Then we've got cos x divided by 1 over cos x. That's 1. And then we've got the sin x divided by sin x, which is equal to 1. So the answer is just minus 1. Alright. Question 2. 2 sine 180 minus x, cos 360 minus x. So let's look at 180 minus x is in quadrant 2. 360 minus x is in quadrant 4. 180 minus x is in quadrant 2. And 180 plus x is in quadrant 3. So let's start with the numerator. So it's 2 times by sine 180 minus x, that's quadrant 2, sine's positive there, so 2 times sine x. Cos 360 minus x in quadrant 4, cos is positive there. And then sine 180 plus x, that's in quadrant 3, sine is negative there. Lastly, cos 180 minus x is in quadrant 2, cos is negative there. Okay, so what's the sign going to be? On the numerator we've got a positive, and the denominator we've got negative times negative is positive, so we're going to get a positive answer. So we've got 2 sin x times cos x divided by sin x times cos x. So what's going to happen there? Sin x divided by sin x, 1. Cos x divided by cos x, 1. So therefore the answer is equal to 2. Question 3. So we've got sine 360 minus x times tan 180 plus x, 360 minus x, quadrant 4. 180 minus x, quadrant 2. 360 minus x, quadrant 4. 180 minus x, quadrant 2, and then 180 plus x, quadrant 3. So what are we going to do? Sine 180 minus 360 minus x is in quadrant 4, sine is negative there. I think it's good to write those trig functions in brackets. Tan 180 minus x, quadrant 2, tan is a negative 1 there. And then cos in the fourth quadrant is positive. Sine in quadrant 2 is positive, so that's just positive sine x. Sine in quadrant 3 is negative, so that's a minus sine x. Now simplify. So what do we have? On the numerator we've got a positive, denominator negative, so our solution is going to be negative. So what do we have? Sin x times tan x. Tan x is sin x over cos x, times by cos x, divided by sin x, times by minus sin x. I mean, that shouldn't be negative, sorry. So, there we go. So let's wrap this up. So what do we have? We've got, if we're going to divide them, we can say sin x divided by sin x is 1. Then we've got cos x divided by cos x on the numerator. Then we've got sin x divided by sin x. Yay, so what's the answer? Negative 1. Okay, next one. Question 4. Cos square 180 minus x times tan square 360 plus x divided by sin square 180 minus x. 180 minus x, quadrant 2. 360 plus x, quadrant 1. 180 minus x, quadrant 2. So cos is negative in the second quadrant, so it's minus cos x square. Tan 360 plus x, quadrant 1. Tan is very positive there, so tan x square. Sine square 180 minus x, quadrant 2, so that would be sine x square. So that would mean it is cos square x times tan square x, and tan square x is sine square x over cos square x, divided by sine square x. Just remember, reminder, why is tan square x equal to sine square x over cos square x? Tan square x means tan x times tan x. Tan x is sine x over cos x. So it's sine x over cos x times sine x over cos x. So that means it's going to be sine square x over cos square x. Okay, and then divide by sine square x. And what do we have? In his natural habitat, we've got a cos x divided by cos square x divided by cos square x is 1. And we've got sine square x divided by sine square x, which is equal to, I kid you not, it's a bit odd, it's 1. Question 5. 1 minus sine square 180 plus x, 180 plus x, quadrant 3. What happens with sine in quadrant 3? Sine in quadrant 3 is negative. Okay, so we've got 1 minus, and on the numerator, minus sine x all square. And on the denominator, we've got 1 minus cos 180 plus x. Cos is negative in quadrant 3, so it's 1 minus cos x. And that should be 1 plus cos x. 1 minus cos x is plus cos x. So we've got 1 minus sine square x over 1 plus by cos x. So that means we've got 1 minus 1 minus sine square x is 1 minus cos square x. So we've got 1 minus cos square x, alright, over 1 plus by cos x. And listen, so that first part is totally cool. If you left it like that, I'm happy with that, okay? But I just want to show you can go further. 1 minus cos square x is 1 plus by cos x, 1 minus cos x. Then you do difference between two squares, and then the answer is 1 minus 1 plus by cos x, and so that is equal to the negative cos x. Alright, so yes, I just wanted to show that you can actually simplify that a bit further. All right. Exercise 8, question 1. So we've got 2 sine 180 minus x, 180 minus x quadrant 2, minus x quadrant 4, minus 180 minus x. That's the same as saying minus x minus 180. Minus x is in the fourth quadrant, minus 180 from that, and you're in the second quadrant, so that's quadrant 2. And then cos x minus 180 is equal to in quadrant 1 into minus 180 from that. So you're going to be in quadrant 3. X minus 180 and x plus 180, of course, will both lead you to quadrant 3. So let's go for it. So we've got 2, 180 minus x is just sine x. Quadrant 4, cos is positive there, so it's cos x. Then we've got sine x, because that's in quadrant 2, sine's positive there. And x minus 180 is in quadrant 3, and cos is negative there. Okay, so let's simplify that. So sine is going to be negative, because with a positive divided by negative. Sine x divided by sine x is 1. Cos x divided by cos x is 1. So your answer is going to be minus 2 over 1, which is minus 2. Question 2. 180 plus x, that is quadrant 3, minus x, quadrant 4, minus x, quadrant 4, x minus 360, quadrant 1, x minus 180 is going to be quadrant 3. Okay, let's go for it. So we've got minus sine x. Sine is negative in the third quadrant. We've got positive cos x. We've got negative tan x. Then we've got plus positive sine x. And then we've got in quadrant 3 there, sine is negative, so it's minus sine x. Okay, so let's go for it. In the first term, our answer is going to be positive, right? So we've got sine x times by cos x divided by tan x. Tan x is then sine x over cos x. And in quadrant, so tan x is sine x over cos x. And then in term 2, we've got a plus sine x times by minus sine x, so it's minus sine square x. So what do we have? If we simplify sine x times cos x divided by sine x divided by cos x, what is that going to equal to? By the way, it's fine, just for now, if you leave it to me, if you leave it like this, right? If you leave your answer in that form, like sine x over cos x divided by sine x divided by cos x plus minus sine square x, I'll be happy with it. And we're going to do trig manipulation a bit later. But if you divide those two, you'll see that, okay, sine x times cos x divided by sine x over cos x, followed by the reciprocal, you'll see the sine x divide. So therefore that answer is just cos square x. And then we've got plus minus sine square x, which is equal to minus sine square x, and that's the final answer there. Question 3. We've got 1 minus sine square 180 plus x. So 180 plus x is quadrant 3. X minus 180 is quadrant 3 as well. And then we've got x minus 360 is equal to in quadrant 1. So what do you have? So we've got sine minus sine x square over minus cos x times by positive cos x. So what we've got is we've got 1 minus sine square x over minus cos square x. That means it is equal to 1 plus pi tan square x. So I'll be happy with that, right? But also I just want to show you that another way to write that is we'll just say 1 over cos square x. Okay, question 4. Minus x is in quadrant 4, and x minus 180 is in quadrant 3. So what we have, we've got 1 plus pi minus sine x, so it's 1 minus sine x. And on the denominator there, we've got cos square x minus 180. So that means minus cos x square. So that means we've got 1 minus sine x over cos square x. I'll be happy with that answer for now, but I just want to show you as well. We're going to do identities a bit later, but we can write cos square x as 1 minus sine square x. Remember, 1 minus sine square x is equal to cos square x. So it's 1 minus sine x over 1 minus sine square x. And then 1 minus sine square x, we can write as 1 plus by sine x, 1 minus sine x. So we've got 1 minus sine x on the numerator there. On the denominator, we've got 1 plus by sine x, 1 minus sine x. And those divide, then 1 minus sine x divided by 1 minus sine x is equal to 1, so it's 1 over 1 plus by sine x. But again, I'll be it's no need to do this all now, but just so there's different ways. Question 5. Tan x minus 180. X minus 180 is in quadrant 3. 180 plus x is quadrant 3. Minus x is quadrant 4. And 360 minus x is in quadrant 4. So let's go for it. Tan in quadrant 3 is very positive, so that's a positive tan x. Come. Hope you guys are doing well. Tan x plus pi. Sine 180 plus pi x is in quadrant 3, so that is a negative sine x. And cos minus x is positive there, so that's positive cos x. So sine square in quadrant 4, so it's minus sine x all square. Minus sine x times minus sine x. So that means we've got tan x minus sine x times cos x. And then divide that by sine square x. Okay, I'll be happy with if you leave it to answer like that just for now. Okay, totally happy with that, but I just want to show you can simplify this beast and becomes quite elegant. So tan x is sine x over cos x minus sine x times cos x divided by cos square x. Divided by sine square x. That means if you take sine x as a common factor there from the numerator, you get 1 over cos x minus cos x, right? And on the denominator, you still have then sine square x. What does that mean? What is sine divided by sine square x? That is just a sine x on the denominator, right? That's the same as what is x divided by x squared. What is a divided by a squared? It's 1 over a. So we've got on the denominator sine x, so it's 1 over cos x minus cos x on the numerator. So if we find a lowest common denominator on the numerator, so that's cos x, so that means we can say that, well, that is equal to, if the denominator is cos x, we've got 1 minus cos square x over divide by sine x. Divide by sine x. So it's sine divided by sine x is the same as, divide by sine x, and then we're going to say, well, times by 1 over sine x. So 1 minus cos square x over cos x. Well, what is 1 minus cos square x? That's sine square x from the identity, right? 1 plus sine square x is equal to cos square x. What am I saying? Sine square x plus cos square x is equal to 1. So we've got sine square x divided by cos x divided by sine x, which is equal to sine square x over cos x times by 1 over sine x, which is equal to sine x over cos x. Sine x over cos x is equal to, so sine square x divided by sine x is just sine x on the numerator. So sine x divided by cos x is equal to tan x. Isn't that beautiful, right? Isn't that just too beautiful? So it's totally fine if you left your answer like all the way back there, just for now, right? But I just wanted to show you that that sexy tan x is the same as all that tan x minus sine x over cos x divided by sine square x. So what we're going to do a bit of manipulation a bit later. All right. Well done, guys. Well done, Oaks. Well done. High five yourself. Okay, see you later.